We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. You find the show at Locked On Astros. Your team every day. Brett, where can you find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
All right, the Astros win. They win in the 11th inning on a walk-off wild pitch. Who saw that coming? And the Rangers played with fires. They not fires. They played with fire. I knew I was going to do that, but they played with fire by walking the bases loaded a few times. And then finally somebody made him pay. A wild pitch made him pay. And so this was a very frustrating game. It was one of those games that was just with all the runners stranded on base. It was one of those games that if I had a lot of hair I could pull out, I would probably pulled it out in this game. But this episode of the Locked On Astros podcast is brought to you by Locker Room. Locker Room is changing the way we talk sports, and you could download the app and join us anytime and just get in a conversation. And it's a way to get a part of the conversation about your Houston Astros, and you can have your conversation known about Myles Straw. Do you think that he deserves to be on this team? And Jose Siri, do you think he needs to be up? And all the other conversations we could be having on the Locker Room app. And don't forget, you can get Locked On the Astros on Podcast and App Himalaya, as well as Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Odyssey, and Spotify. When you get in your car, tell your smart device play podcast, Locked On Astros. So the Astros now have a pretty darn good record. They're I think a game and a half behind the A's, the best team in baseball or second best team in baseball. But the Astros are now 21-17. The A's, they lost tonight, by the way. They are 23-16. So the Astros, considering everything that has gone on this season, they are looking pretty good. I know the bullpen is a little hit and miss, but the bullpen looked pretty good today.
Yeah, they did. That, I know it was a frustrating game because you went 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position. That's not going to win you a championship down the road, but it was good enough against the Texas. We got to remember we're playing the Arlington Rangers here. This is basically, for all intents and purposes, a minor league club. We gave them every opportunity to win. It was like we had the W in our pocket and we kept handing it to them. And they're like, no, that's okay. We don't like winning. Like, they literally hate winning so much that their official Twitter account today said, well, I guess we're going to lose against the Astros again.
That was so random that Twitter handle would say that.
Yeah, they were like, we're going to take the L today. And I'm like, what? Like, that social media guy should be fired on the spot. You don't do that. They're 18-21. They're not exactly the bottom of the barrel. They're not the Detroit Tigers. Sorry, Castellani, but you know what you got there in Detroit. But, Eric, say what you will about this game being frustrating. Cristian Javier really had some stones today out there on the bump because he came in shaky. He did not look good. He was wild. And I was like, well, close the roof. Maybe it's too humid. Maybe he can't grip the ball because he wasn't finding the strike zone. But after he gave those 3 runs, he retired like 13 batters in a row, and they didn't give up a single run after that second inning. So where it looked abysmal and looked like it was going to be one of those games, it ended up being a good game for the Astros. And this was not necessarily a pitcher's duel, but it was a low-scoring game. These are games that you should win every time.
Yeah, in fact, after a messy start, he ended up going 7 innings, and he only allowed 4 hits, 3 runs. He set down the last 15 of the last 16 Rangers he faced, and I believe he retired the last 12 that he faced. So Cristian Javier was on a roll. And I think that Martin Maldonado was on the bench, and I think it was after the 3rd inning, if I remember correctly. Martin Maldonado went over to him, and he was kind of making this little motion with his hands, and so I think Maldonado was like, "Hey, you're doing this wrong. You need to fix this. That way you can pitch better." And I think Cristian Javier took his advice, and he really dominated the rest of the way. And so he had 6 strikeouts, allowed 2 walks, and only 3 runs. And I'm pretty happy with his start. I know he didn't get the win. It's hard for him to finish with the most wins on the Astros if he didn't get a win in this game, but uh, he ate up some innings, and that's really a good thing there. So yeah, this was a pretty good game, and I know we're talking about, but Willie Calhoun kind of did a George Springer, aka Jose Altuve, hit the first pitch of the game for a home run,
Right.
and who does that against the Astros? I thought that was our trademark thing. So, but Cristian Javier kind of had to do a basically had to kind of come back and do that. So, one thing I want to talk about, we kind of danced around this, but in the first 5 innings, the Astros had the leadoff hitter on base in all the first 5 innings, and only one of them scored.
Yeah.
Two of those were leadoff doubles, which led to nothing.
Now,
That
if
that
you're
was so frustrating.
yeah, if you're playing the Red Sox, if you're in the playoffs and you make it to the World Series and you're playing, I don't know, shoot, maybe the Giants now. I mean, golly, they're kind of ruling the West out there. But when you get into like high leverage games against teams that are solid, these are the kinds of things that will come back and bite you in the butt. But I think the credit really goes to the bullpen, Eric, in this game. Not only Cristian Javier, but the bullpen, because when they came in, like they went Stanek, Presley, Abreu, Rayleigh, and we've been railing on him. We even had one of our listeners, Larry the GM, say, whenever these guys come up off the injured list, Framber, go ahead and DFA Rayleigh. Rayleigh, I was like, why do you want him in here? And then I retweeted, I love being proven wrong. Abreu, he's not wowed me, but I love being proved wrong. They've got the stuff, they can do it. And these moves tonight, it's like, okay, Dusty's happening. Dusty's making these moves, but he puts them in there and they have to perform. Whether we like a move or not, they've got to perform. And Rayleigh's been very good against left-handers, and I know we forget about that. Rayleigh has not been great this year, but he's been very good against the left-handers. So when you have someone like Abreu, I would have put Abreu out a second inning because of the way he came off of the mound, the way he got that strikeout and he was fired up. I would have liked to have seen him take that momentum into another inning and gain more confidence personally, but the Rayleigh thing ended up working out really well.
Yeah, but keep in mind that we still have to play 3 more games versus Rangers this
That's true.
weekend. So you don't want to burn out your entire bullpen in the first game, and we're glad that it didn't go like 18 innings or something like that. So 11 innings, I think Dusty Baker used the bullpen exactly like he should have in this one. And a lot of people have said, well, you should have brought in Abreu in the 9th inning and then brought in Presley during the 11th inning or 10th inning, and because the harder the order would have come in. But then, yeah, you could have. There's several different ways you could have done that, but I think that Dusty Baker did it exactly the right way, and I think that he bet on Presley coming in the 9th inning, just shutting it down. So let's talk about betonline.ag.
Yeah, folks, let me tell you something. If you're in a sports bet and you got to go to betonline.ag, it's the easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action on BetOnline. Get all the latest news, odds, and info, and all the sporting needs, including MLB, NBA, NHL, UFC, MMA action. It's all there. I know, I believe May 21st, I believe UFC's coming to Houston, so check that out. Before the next pitch, head over to Bet Online with your laptop or mobile device. Check out the great sporting news, the sign-up bonuses, everything. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in the game. This is your chance. Before your team makes their playoff run, head to the website and use your mobile device to sign up and receive a 50% welcome bonus. That's right, a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use a promo code Locked On. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts.
All right, so the Astros are only a game and a half behind the A's now. The A's got blown out by the Red Sox, and who would have thought the Red Sox would be as good as they are right now? And I mean, I don't think anybody saw this coming. The Red Sox were supposed to be in a rebuild year, and they are doing really well right now. I know.
Like I said before, Joey Cora is back. I mean, he wasn't there, and they were bottom of the barrel. Joey Cora is back. They've got some cameras out there, I'm sure.
Oh, by the way, did you see the Padres fan knock out the Rockies fan?
Yeah,
And
like who goes at Rockies fan? Who like the oh my god.
I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I said that's basically every time you on Twitter you say, "Hi, I'm an Astros fan." The Padres fan comes at you and like punches you, and then says, "Oh yeah, where's your trash can?" And then
Right.
walks away. That's basically what everybody does to Astros fans.
Well, the Rockies
But
fan could have been lit. I'm pretty sure. They like natural herbs.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But so Dusty Baker made an interesting move. I think that he made the right move. I believe it was in the 10th inning. Uh, we have the whole rule. I know a lot of people say, well, I don't like the move, and it's a runner at second base. Oh, let's rewind back to the top of the 10th inning when
Okay.
uh, I think Brian Abreu was in the game,
Yeah.
and we had I don't know if they labeled it a pass ball. I think it was pass ball by Jason Castro, and where the runner who was at second base was able to get to
It
third
was
base.
it was a wild pitch by
Is
the
wild
pitcher.
pitch?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that inning got off to a bad start. So I did that fleet thing on Twitter for the first time. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was watching that as it happened. I'm like, great. First, we have to start off with this runner at second base. Now you're going to advance it all the way to third base with no outs. And
Mhm.
then Bregman, the ball went right to Bregman at third base, and he was able to keep the runner at third base, then have the presence of mind to throw to second base, and then get the double play.
Yeah, that was
That was
perfect.
like perfect. I mean, if it was a little bit more to right or left, I mean, that was just a
If it
perfect
was
play. Yeah.
if it was more to the right, it would have been a foul ball. It would have been a dead ball, and that's what Woodard was arguing, was he thought that the umpire saying safe was holding his hands up saying dead ball. And so yeah, that was an interesting situation. I'll be real honest. I do hate the runner on second base. To me, it's not baseball. It's very beer league, very softball league. It's very RBI baseball 95. I don't like the runner on second. Now I joked on Twitter.
1995. Did you
Yeah,
say that?
yes, I joked on Twitter. I joked on Twitter and said that now I love the runner on second base when we had a guy on second. I just I just don't like it. I mean, I don't know that games are any shorter because of it. I mean, we still went, 2 extra innings and the game was still long. We're almost at midnight here and we're just now talking about the game. And so it's just one of those things.
Did somebody
Um,
say Joey Core? Did you pull out Joey Core?
no, did I say Joey Cora?
Oh, that would be awesome if you did.
Oh,
Please tell me you said Joey. Oh, that would
if
be
I
awesome.
said
That'd be
if I
awesome.
said Joey Cora, then that's not who I meant. I meant Alex Cora. Thank you.
It's
Thank,
fine. It's fine.
thank you,
Uh,
Jean LeBlanc.
So, but then when Abreu got that strikeout, he was pumped up and he was just like, yeah. And I know that's why you thought that he should go back out there. But I think that Dusty Maker made the right move by saving him for another day. So I know that the next inning, the Astros didn't. I believe they walked. They walked two batters to get to Myles Straw, and then Myles Straw hit that fly ball to right field, and then I'm hearing an echo, Brett.
I'm not doing anything.
So, but then it hit the fly ball to right field, and then you had Chas McCormick try to score from third base, and unfortunately, Joey Gallo has an arm out there, and he threw, I think it was a 93.7 mile per hour strike to home plate, and Chas McCormick was out by a mile. So, unfortunately, it
Yeah, that
was
ball was not
probably a
deep
bad
enough.
sin. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was a bad sin. I think what you're counting on is the throws not online, because Chas McCormick is fast enough. If the throw's offline, then he makes it and they win, right?
Yeah, I think so. So I think I fixed the issue, hopefully. So
Yeah, I can't hear anything. Just
it's
keep
fine.
rolling.
All right. So then let's fast forward to the next inning. Then you have Brooks Raley on the mound, and then he got into some issues as well. Of course, you have the runners at second base to start, and then he had a walk, but then he had the two big strikeouts. And this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. Is this the first time that we've seen Brooks Raley show this emotion going off the mound? I mean, you've seen some of these other guys, but not Brooks Raley, but he was pumped up. I don't know if it was because it was extra innings, But after he was walking off the mound after that strikeout, he was pumped up as well. So it's good to see these guys, especially somebody like Brooks Raley, to show this type of emotion.
No, yeah, I don't know if he's shown this type of emotion, but I'm sitting here looking at his game logs, and he's doing quite well as of late. And so he is going to. I mean, but that was back to back. Abreu showed emotion coming off the mound. Rayleigh showed emotion. Here's the thing: we need that. We need these guys to be spark plugs. We need these guys to be energy starters, because when your bullpen is not reliable and when your bullpen is giving up runs, that doesn't help the rest of the team. And
Right.
negative energy begets negative energy. Positive energy begets positive energy. And I think those jolts of energy, that coming off the bump, like, yeah, just getting into it, that because Rayleigh knows how he's underperformed, and Rayleigh knows when he's done well. And he hasn't done well more than he's underperformed. And so this is another notch in his belt of confidence. So if Rayleigh wants to stay viable on this team and stay a part of this bullpen, then he's got to have more outings like this.
Yeah, so World Traveler said that McCormick should have slid with his body toward the outside of the plate and just reached over with his hand. He slid normally. That's why the catcher was able to easily tag him. Maybe he should have done the sliding thing that we've seen Yuli do, the swimming thing. Where
Well, he is a rookie too, and so, but I mean, Joey Gallo's got a hell of an arm, and he
yeah,
was not very deep. And I don't know that I would have even sent Myles Straw on that because he was so close. I think if Joey Gallo's 10 feet back, I think he makes it every time.
yeah. So yeah, let's not harp too much on that. And I know that we're going to talk about this in a second, but I know Gio says that Siri is greater than Straw. We don't know that yet because Siri's doing this in AAA. We don't. Straw's doing what he's doing at the major league level. We don't know what Siri can do at the major league level. Hopefully, he'll get a chance at some point. We'll talk about what he did tonight in Sugarland. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about Built Bar. It's the best protein bar out there, right?
Yes, it is the only protein bar. Like, don't go get any other protein bar. They're too chalky. They're too big. There's too much sugar. These Built Bars are wrapped in 100% chocolate. I actually was having one for a snack today. One of my kids were like, "Are you eating a candy bar? Is that a Snickers?" I'm like, no, it's a Built Bar. It was a cookie dough Built Bar. And let me tell you, they've got cookie dough, coconut, almond, cherry, raspberry, mint brownie. I mean, the list goes on. Most of their flavors have 17 grams of protein, 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs. It's for the healthy conscious guy or girl, whether you're on the keto diet, you're just trying to lose or even maintain the weight you're at. Grab one of these bad boys today. They are amazing. Order today and get that raspberry or mint brownie or whatever you like. Let me tell you this, Built Bar has built this amazing thing. And now they even do things like they have sales on bars that are under and overweight, and you can get discounted bars. I mean, the sky's the limit with this place. Built Bar is a kingdom that you need to be a part of. Locked 15 is a promo code you need. LOCKED15 for 15% off your order. And when you get your first box in, you'll get a coupon for another discount. You can also get Built points and just build a credit with these guys. BuiltBar.com, the best bar in the land.
All right. So Joey Gallo's throw was 97.3. I got my numbers mixed up. It was it was tied for the fastest throw of an outfield assist since the start of last season.
Wow.
So that's pretty
I mean, he
impressive.
is a Gold Glover, like Mr. Ross pointed out. Yeah, no, he is a very good outfielder. I mean, he's a big dude. What is he, like 6'7"? I mean, he is a massive guy.
Yeah.
But
So Dusty Baker said that Yuli Gurriel was going through the health and safety protocol just as a precaution. They don't think it's anything of COVID, but he was saying that anytime you have a sneeze, a cough, anything you have like that, you just have to be safe. So he said that he's most likely going to be in the lineup tomorrow, but they just had to be safe. And he, after Straw scored the winning run today, there was Yuli out there with the bubble gum, throwing it on top of his Straw's head. So Yuli's most likely going to be in the lineup today. I saw him leaning over the railing. If there was anything severely wrong with him, he would not be out there. So
no,
I think
definitely.
that he just was not feeling good yesterday. Everybody just has a day where they're just not feeling great. So I think that's what it was. But they said that Gurriel was one of the players that have been fully vaccinated, but the team just wanted to make sure he's fine. But we're hearing across baseball, Gleyber Torres of the Yankees, he was fully vaccinated. He tested positive and had coronavirus in the offseason, and he tested positive again. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of players all of a sudden testing positive right now. So I don't want to go into that right now. I want to focus on the Astros, but it's just weird how everything's just kind of falling apart all of a sudden. But
Well, here's the thing.
Anoli, go ahead.
I don't think it's falling apart. It's just the nature of the beast. You just have to continue to be safe. And I mean, that's all there is to it. I think Major League Baseball has actually done one of the few things they've actually done really well with this year
Right.
is handling it.
Yeah. Yuli was able to work out today. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Everything is fine. They just didn't want him playing today. That's the main thing. And would he have been available to pitch hit today? Yeah, but I think if you technically have him in the health and safety protocol, he's
Yeah, he can't.
technically not supposed to
Yeah.
play. So I think he was able to participate, but he wasn't able to play. So, but anyway, so here's some quotes from Dusty. To tell you the truth, I don't know how we came out with that one. We left a lot of men on base. It would have been a downer to lose that game. And you keep flirting with bases loaded. There's a lot of good things that could happen for you. Hit batsman, wild pitch, base hit, an error. There's some gutsy calls. They almost got away with it. And this is Dusty Baker on watching Myles Straw score on the wild pitch. That was kind of what you were hoping for. You keep flirting. Oh, that's what you just said. All right, never mind.
It's okay.
Oh, anyway, so I just have the same quote on there
He was
twice.
like,
Just
that boy is fast.
yeah. So anyway, but basically, it was just one of those things where I remember hearing I think it was Blum or Callis saying that they're probably talking that because the manager went out there to talk to the pitcher and they're like, "Do you want to pitch to
Right.
Bregman or do you want to pitch to Chas McCormick? Because you can pitch around the edges to Bregman, or do you want to just pitch to rookie and risk throwing a wild pitch or something?" And that's what he did to the rookie instead. And I don't think you could have scripted that better for the Astros.
No, and that pitcher, like, like I instantly felt bad for the pitcher because I saw his face afterwards. To lose a game on a pitch like that, that wasn't on the catcher. That was on the pitch just not being where it needed to be. And yeah, that is like probably the crappiest way to lose on a baseball diamond, especially when you know that you had plenty of leads. And one of my old buddies from college is a big Rangers fan. He's actually from Houston originally, but he lives up in Arlington, Tim Ward, and he literally sent me a text. He was like, well, that was the crappiest game that I've stayed up for all year. I mean, he was upset. And I said, hey, I'll take it. I love to see it.
Yeah. By the way, before I forget about this, Mike Bolsinger, we all remember him as the guy
Oh,
who
yeah.
filed a lawsuit against the Astros, claiming that the Astros ruined his career. And and everybody said, I think the state of California said, yeah, whatever. But he's refiled his lawsuit against the Astros in Harris County, and he
Nice.
says that his signs are a trade secret under the Texas Uniform Trade Secrets Act. He alleges that willful and intentional misappropriation of trade secrets by the 2017 Astros, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a crap. You're not going to get
No,
anything happen.
this
You know why? You know why? If you go ahead and award this to Mike Bolsinger, what's going to happen to all the other baseball players that
no, okay,
allegedly were affected by the Astros? You're going to open the door and you're going to have all these players come. Yeah, the
there's
Astros
too
ruined my
much
career too.
there's too much evidence before this guy even touched a baseball against the Astros that he absolutely sucked at being a major league pitcher. I'm sorry, and I hope he hears this one day. He probably won't. But
No,
you
you
know
won't.
what? Well, here's the thing. I never made it to the pros, right? I couldn't do that. But dude, you were crap on the mound, and now you're trying to blame some team where it's been analyzed statistically from third-party sources that it statistically didn't even help them. They had a better road batting average than they had home. So you know what? Let that ship sail. Let's stop talking about this crap. I want to talk about Joe Siri here in a second. Did you hear what he did
Yes.
tonight?
He had 7 RBIs and 2 homers. One of them was a grand slam, and I
In the
believe that was in
first
the first 2 innings.
first 2 innings, and it was a single game with most in a single game in Skeeter's history, including their 9 years as an independent ball club. That was tweeted out by the Sugarland Skeeters after he did it. So he absolutely, and when he hit that grand slam, he just like tossed his bat. It was a very cocky moment, and he crossed that plate. But Jose Siri is doing well. Like you said, it is AAA. But when you have Myles Straw not doing what he needs to be doing at the plate, and when you have things like that, you're going to have people talking about guys that are at AAA. Are they ready? Can we bring them up? And all that stuff. And so that's going to continue. Hey, maybe that drives Myles Straw. Maybe it works in his favor. Maybe it works in the favor of the team. But I still think Chas McCormick needs to get more starts on this team. I think he needs to get more chances. You need to kind of split the time, platoon them more than just having one primary starter in that position.
Yeah, and Chas McCormick, I mean, I know he had the home run the other day, but he hasn't played that often. But the question is, where do you give the roster spot? You're already going to have to get a roster spot when you bring up Anoli Predis. Oh, I was going to bring that up earlier, but he had another inning today, and so he had another scoreless inning. And where's my notes? But he's up to 4 games, 5 innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. I say he's ready to come back.
Yeah, come on, Anoli.
Yeah. So, and by the way, we haven't talked about Jose Altuve's big. This was big. I believe the Astros were trailing 3-0 at the time, but he had the bases clearing double, and I want to say it was the 3rd inning.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a big moment. No, 2nd inning, because the Astros were trailing. No, they were trailing 2-0 at the time in the 2nd inning, and the bases were loaded. And
Yes.
Altuve came up, and that I didn't get to see it because I wasn't back home.
Well,
at that time,
basically, what he did is he hit it to left field, and the way the ball hit off the fence, it went to when you're looking at the TV, it went towards the left. You know where the Crawford boxes start, and the way it bounced off and careened, it just allowed it caused the outfielders to take more time to find the ball, get the ball, and so those runs scored easily. Altuve skated into second, so that was excellent. You would have hoped that they had more. I mean, they should have had more 3-run innings. I mean, this game honestly should have been like 17-3, or should have been 10-3. It should have been a double-digit win for this team. Luckily, they did enough.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had too many of these games where we've had way too many runners stranded. I think today there was 14 team runners stranded on base, and the Astros were 2 for 18 with runners stranded in scoring position. And individual wise, there's 33 runners stranded and left on base. So let's take a look before we end the podcast. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, it's going to be Zach Greinke versus Benjamin. And then Saturday, it's going to be Luis Garcia versus Dunning. And then Sunday, it's going to be McCullers versus Gibson. So I saw somebody on Twitter ask, I believe it was Chandler Rome, who is the Rangers ace? They don't got one.
No, they don't.
Who's the best one? I would say probably right now Dunning. Dunning is one of their better pitchers, but he's so young.
They don't have an ace. I mean, they got rid of Kluber. Lynn's gone, so they really don't have. I mean, Kyle Gibson was your opening day starter for the Rangers. And so, the Astros play here this weekend, and then they go up to Minute Maid Park 2.0 and Arlington to go play there in the Grill or Home Depot Stadium, Tough Shed Stadium, whatever you want to call it. So I'm hoping for a sweep, Eric. I think we need
Yeah.
a sweep. We need a bookend sweep, and we need the Boston Red Sox to beat up the Oakland A's.
Oh, speaking of which, I almost forgot about this quote, but asked today about Zach Greinke's recent struggles,
Hmm.
Dusty Baker said, well, nobody can pitch good all the time. Nobody can hit good all the time. So, so
What?
basically,
He's
he's
the
saying,
he's the John Madden. He's the John Madden of the Major League Baseball. Now look. Here's a guy. Look at this lineman. His sweat only goes down to his knees, but this guy's sweat goes down to his calves. He's working harder. What? Like Dusty Baker is the John Madden. I love his sound bites. You can't pitch good all the time. No, why is he struggling? Is he uncomfortable? Have you talked to him? Like, is he that closed off that you don't know? I think he probably doesn't know.
all right. So, guys, today on the Locked On Today podcast, can the New York Mets follow in the New York Knicks' footsteps? That's the question of the day. Get more of the sports news you need in less time with the Locked On Today podcast. Follow the Locked On Today podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. And we'll be back next week with the Locked On Astros podcast. And thank you, Brett. And thank you